because everyone would say like, oh my god, there's someone at the door. Oh, someone just came in and squirted something on like all the sinks, and so I don't know what it is now, and I had to sign something. I don't know. It was all Korean. I was just like, oh, 미안해요, 영어. I don't know. This is my song for the intro, but I don't know how long it goes. I guess I'll just keep singing things until the words come on the screen. I don't wanna rip somebody off, so here's my own intro song. But how do I end it? How do I end the song? Yeah! Hey guys, it's Molly. Welcome to another chit chat. This is like a thing I'm starting. I'm still kind of like feeling the waters. I'm like supposed to be tech savvy as a millennial, but I'm really not. So let's just see how this goes. Last time I did a chit chat, I did me being an au pair, because I'm always asked, am I a teacher? Like, 선생님입니까? I know that word. Whoa, words, multiple sort of thing. I don't know. I'm working it out. But yeah, I always get asked if I'm a teacher, but I'm an au pair. And so I talked about what an au pair was. So be sure, if you haven't seen that video, check it out. I'll put a link in the description box below. But I also want to talk about the pros and cons of actually being an au pair, because of course there will be some. So let's get into it. I think I've lost neck fat. Is that a thing? Yeah. So I'm an au pair. I live with a Korean family and I help look after the kids in exchange for living here, for like the great cultural experience and language learning. But with that, it does have pros and cons, of course. I mean, we're working with kids and I'm in a new place and I'm adjusting still, but I'm well enough into it that I can safely say some of my own personal pros and cons, and then cons that I know other people have had by reading people's experiences or hearing stuff, and just the general cons of living in Korea for me, but as an au pair. I can do a separate one about Korea and why I love it or why it confuses the shit out of me. Was that a bad word? Damn it. Let's just go with the cons first. So my first con is that I'm living with a different family and they're different culturally, and so I have to adapt, and I've had to adapt to their lifestyle, because Korean lifestyle for me, being an Australian, is a little bit different. Thank goodness there is no like time difference too much. I think we're like an hour behind, so like I can still call my mom and all that sort of thing, so I don't really have to adjust any like lifestyle, like sleep pattern, as that's like irrelevant anyway. But adapting to their lifestyle, like they are a nuclear family. Oh, some PDH near right for you there. Nuclear family. There's mum and dad and 2 kids. And I'll come in and the kids go to school and they go to work, or, you know, coffee club with the mums, I don't know. And I'm here and I've got to just adapt to their routine, because I'm here working for them. And sometimes that can be a bit hard. One thing that I can think is quite relevant for me at the moment is I personally love working out at the gym at night. I am really energetic at night, and then it's like, don't talk to me at day. I need coffee. I'm like a vehicle with fuel. Coffee is my fuel. Just fill it up. You know, tea's good as well, but like it's not as good here. But I like to go to the gym at night. I usually will have like go to the gym and then have a late dinner, or have an early dinner and then go to the gym for like 1 hour, or maybe 2 if I'm feeling good. But here I finish work at 9, and then but I have dinner while I'm working, so it's kind of like, oh, I don't really have to work as much, but I eat with them because they cook me the meals and we all eat together, or sometimes I'll feed the baby as well. I finish work and then I'll go to the gym. The gym closes at 12, and you know, I usually want to go to like 10 to 12, or like, so now I go like 9 to 11, but they go to bed at like 9:30. So I finish work and I basically, my end job for work usually is like packing the dishwasher for the night or brushing the kids' teeth. And usually the baby's hanguk, I usually walk him around the apartment and I put him to sleep and I take him to bed myself. And so half the family's already asleep before I go out to the gym. And so I like to, I don't know, I get really creative at night. At night is when I want to write most of my songs, and I can't. Like, Korean apartments are small, whereas in Australia I was in a 2-story house, backyard, front yard sort of thing, you know, the animals, the dogs, the likes, big family, 5 kids. And so I was on the bottom floor, and that was like where the cool kids, the older kids were. And so I didn't really disturb anyone at night because we were all so far apart. But here, it's not like we're living on top of each other, but I can't play guitar when I want to, sort of thing. Like, I would play it now because no one's here and I don't want to annoy anyone. I know that they like hearing me play guitar, but I don't know, it's just a bit weird. So yeah, I kind of just went, here's my point, and then I went, ooh. But basically, I've got to adapt to their lifestyle. They're early bed people and I'm a late night person, and I also like to sleep in. They get up early. I mean, the father gets up early to go to work, and yeah, I'm getting up early as well, but still, you know. Another thing with the lifestyle is, I mentioned it in my first video, is the father is Christian, which isn't a big deal, but like one example of adapting to their lifestyle was, we had Children's Day not too long ago, because it's May, and so there's like a million public holidays and I love it. But the whole family came, extended family of both sides, and his side is Christian. And so before, what are these beeping sounds? And so before we had dinner, I think it was, we all had to hold hands and pray. And even though I grew up in a Christian family, like baptized, we never did that. And so I didn't really want to participate just because I've moved away from that religion. But again, I didn't want to be disrespectful, so, you know, just cross my fingers, whatever, I don't know. So just adapting to the lifestyle, the types of people I'm living with, and all that sort of thing. Carrying on with the family that you as an au pair would experience, or that I experience, is that family is priority. So you may want to travel and you may want to party a little, but when the family needs something, it is, you know, it's expected that you drop everything or reorganize your stuff so that they're priority. Because, like, for example, tomorrow there's like the Parents' Day, where the parents come into, not the parents' public day, but the parents come into school and just see how they're going, like teachers interview sort of thing. And so I'm looking after the kids during the day for that, which is unusual for me because I usually do it after school, 5 to 9. And so that's just something, like, I didn't have any plans. I never have plans in the day, but if I did, I would have to be like, oh, sorry, I've got to cancel. I've got actual more commitments that I have to prioritize because of that. With the priorities, like, my family already know, like, I gave them, like, before I even came, because I knew them for maybe a year before I even came, but I gave them, like, yo, I'm traveling, like, I've got the working holiday and travel visa, and so I'm expected to travel. And so I have friends in Seoul and I have friends in Busan, and then I'm also traveling overseas elsewhere, and so they know that, and they know when it's happening. So I've given them plenty of time. But if I wanted to go to Seoul or something on the weekend again, and there was something, I'm gonna have to change it. And so basically the family is priority over travel, over your parties. Oh, another thing with the parties is, if you're a drinker, I'm not necessarily much. I'll be like, you know, I'll probably like steal someone's drink a bit, smell it or something. I do that. I don't know if anyone else does that, but I like to try things without commitment of buying the whole drink. I'll just take a sip. But the family is priority, and if you're gonna drink, you better be in your best condition to look after the kids and make sure that you are giving them your undivided attention. So if you're gonna show up, if you're gonna go out partying on Sunday night, I don't know if that's a thing, it was never a thing for me in Australia, but if you're gonna go partying Sunday night and spend Monday hungover, you better whip into shape before you start work, because they're priority. And I think this is the most obvious con. Not necessarily it's con, it's just, well, yeah, it is, but it's a fact of life. You kind of know what you're signing up for as an au pair. You're looking after kids, and they can be difficult sometimes to the point of frustration, especially with a language barrier, because usually you can talk to the kids, or, you know, dumb down what you're saying and be like, hey, this is what we're doing. But in Korean, I'm just like, and they just look at me like, Mulayo. I think that's Sungmin, the oldest boy's favorite word to use with me. Mulayo. I don't know, or like, I don't know what you're saying, sort of thing. And because I know that word, he'll use it to me, and I'm like, nah, Mulayo. I don't know either, man. I just don't know. So the kids I'm living with are 4 and 2 years old. And so, well, actually 2 years old in Korean, 6 years old in Korean as well. I'm still working out the ages, you know, I can explain that, but let's not get into that, okay? But yeah, so they're relatively young, you know, we've got a kindergarten and then a baby who is just learning to walk, which is so adorable. Coming along with the young ages is a lot of extra work that you need to do. So these kids need help showering and nappies changed, and you know, they cry, and you know, they'll throw tantrums. I mean, I probably still would at this age because I'm a sook, but so they're difficult. It can be as small as Sangwook, the baby, wriggling out of my reach when I'm trying to dress him and running away. That's like lighthearted difficult. You're like, haha, come here, you, I need to put your bloody pants on. To as bad as my adventures of Sungmin and his craziness. One time I was pushing Sangwook, like I said, I push him sometimes in the pram around the apartment complex so he falls asleep before bed, and Sungmin wanted to come once, and so he rode his scooter. And you know that look kids have when they're just like, I'm gonna do something, I know you're not gonna like it, but you know, like, whatever, man, whatever. And so he came up with his scooter and he's got that look in his face and he's like, I'm gonna mess some stuff up. And he just kamikazed into the pram where I just finally got his brother to sleep, and he kamikazed into it, crashed his scooter into it, and then jumped on top of the bonnet. And so along with au pair, I teach him words as part of it, just because that's how I talk to him, in English and then a little Korean. And so one of the things I say is like, sleep and good night. I'm going to sleep, good night, Sungmin. And so he's learnt those, and he always asks me, are you going to sleep? And I say, nah, good night. And he will say good night. And so he saw his brother going to sleep, and he's decided, I'm gonna tell him sleep and good night just to be safe. So he's decided to start yelling sleep and good night, Sangwook, to his brother, who's just finally got to sleep in the pram while all these kids who are playing baseball are looking at us. The next thing they see is some foreigner just ripping this child, trying to pull this child off the pram. And so that's as bad as difficult Sungmin can get, because he has a very tight grip. Ugh, it still stresses me out today. Every time I see him on a scooter and I have the pram, I keep my distance. I'm just like, you stay over there, I'm gonna be over here, thank you. Like, stay there, watch your distance, buddy, watch it. I'm walking here. My accents are terrible, apologies. You should hear me speak French and Korean. It's tragic. It's tragic. Along with that, another difficulty of being an au pair with the children being difficult is it's hard to communicate what they've done is wrong. Like with that scenario, I looked at Sungmin when I finally pried him off, and I said, hey, like, well, as I was doing it, I was saying, Hajima, Hajima, like, stop it. Stop it. And I looked at him and I was like, you know, in English, I'd be like, boy, what the hell are you doing? That's like your brother. Don't do that. I'm going to tell your mom we're going home now. Like, you're in trouble. But I don't know how to say that. I mean, perhaps it would be easier if I knew how to say it in Korean, but I don't. And so I looked at him and I said, like, Hajima, Anyo. And then I, like, you know, napayo, or like bad and all that sort of thing. And, you know, so I really have to dramatize, like, oh, I just have to exaggerate my facial expressions and be like, I'm disappointed in you. I'm disappointed with your actions. And then I said, you know, Kaja, let's go home. Let's go see your mom. And I feel so bad, but I was like, Sungmin wouldn't listen to me. I don't know, it's just hard. And so in that sort of difficulty where you can't control children, personally, I just feel like a failure almost. Sometimes it's really hard because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Why don't they listen to me? And especially when it's not necessarily a language barrier and they just choose to do something. It's hard. Sangmin's crazy, but he's a cool dude, I guess. Another thing that is hard with children is, like, you know, you're gonna have to do like the jobs that your parents would do to you as a kid and that you probably wouldn't necessarily like. I remember like looking at my siblings when they're getting their nappies changed. I was like, Dad, you're disgusting. Ugh. But now I have to do it. I have to change nappies, and you know, I deal with it. It's not like it's like, oh, I hate changing nappies. It's like, hey, I've got to do it. Some people really don't like that. I know, like, when I tell people, yeah, so I do jobs like this, and they go, oh, do you have to change nappies? Oh, I feel so sorry for you. I'm like, bruh, it's a way of life. Your mama changed your nappies too. Deal with it, okay? But yeah, I just thought it was worth mentioning that you have to do some nitty gritty jobs because some people don't like it, whereas I was just like, hey, it's a way of life. One of my jobs that is probably, I don't know, weird, that I don't like doing is showering, just because, or like bathing, because I freak out that I'm gonna get shampoo in their eyes. I don't know, I just freak out, and so like I have to, like, I don't know, it's just hard. Or sometimes they cry in the shower, and just because it echoes, it just makes the crying louder. It's just hard. I don't like it, okay? But I deal with it. To me, it's my least favorite job, but yeah, I gotta do it. I just gotta. Another con I can think of is, because I experienced the awkwardness of it this week, is that you live with your employer. The au pair, the host family, is the au pair's basically employer, and it's really awkward when you do your laundry. You live with them, they're gonna see everything of you, not necessarily like, you know, your bits and bobbies, but like, think of it, if you're gonna live with someone, they're gonna see like, you got your worst, you don't deserve me at my best if you can handle me at my worst. I don't know who said that. Maybe it was Marilyn, I don't know, but he or she's like smoking. Yeah, but they're gonna see that. Another thing, they probably don't like this shirt, so I'm wearing it today. But that's the thing, you're gonna live with your employer. So like I said, their priority, if you're going out partying, they're gonna know you're going out partying, and they, you know, they'll have an opinion. Everyone's got an opinion. Deal with it, okay? So they might go, oh, she drinks a lot. Oh, he parties a lot. Or, oh, he like always goes out all the time. What's he doing? You know, they're gonna have an opinion of you. But I think that's not a problem as long as you're giving 100% in what you're needed for, and you can do whatever you want, I guess, if it's morally good for the family. Yeah, so they live with you. If you party a lot, they'll know. If you're a slob, they'll know. I mean, my room has never been cleaner. I was terrible back home, and I remember videoing my mum and like showing her my room, and she was like, what the hell, why is it clean? Like, you're covered, I can see stuff, everything's hung up, everything's folded, your bed is made. And so yeah, I think that just the pressure of living with someone who I didn't want to think bad of me made me clean up my act and my room. Yeah, so sorry, Mom. Yeah, so the reason I brought up is they know your laundry is because I had a really awkward moment before. I use, like, I think it was smart coming over here, but to save my expenses, I bought reusable pads and a menstrual cup. And so those need to be washed because the pads are white and my blood is red. Mattes. Colored palette thing. Yeah, and so it was really awkward. I mean, I put them in a liner, but it's just weird, you know, they might, because there's like, we kind of always run into each other whenever we do laundry, like run into each other. Like, I'll go and their stuff's in there, so like I'll put their stuff in the dryer, or they'll put my stuff in the dryer and put it on drying for me so they can use the washing machine, and we just do that. And so when I think about it, I'm like, yeah, they're seeing all my underclothes. I don't know, that might not be a big deal, but I just think it's weird, because another thing, I do compare it to teaching and nannying, and the differences a lot, just because sometimes the lines can get blurred or crossed a lot. But with teaching, you get a salary, and with au pair, you don't. So sometimes that can be a con. I'm finding it a con now because I love shopping. And so I've saved up all this money and I've come over with it, and I'm living rent-free. And so if I want something, I buy it. But I'm looking at getting a job just because I don't get pocket money unless I work on the weekends. I think I spoke about pocket money in my previous one. Usually as an au pair, you can work something out, or like an allowance sort of thing, like a month, but it's not going to be a lot because there's an extra member to the family, so they're buying extra food, they've given up a room, or my family actually like moved to a bigger apartment in the complex sort of thing, so I could live here, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if that 100% if that was the only motivator, but I know it was like a plus for them, and they're like, bigger space, therefore you can stay. I don't know, but yeah, it's hard because you don't get paid all the time, and so money is tight for me at the moment, just because I'm addicted to shopping. And you know, I want K-beauty, I want, you know, all these beautiful Korean clothes, and textbooks are so expensive. So yeah, that can be a con, but I'd like to think that the balance for that is I only work 20 hours a week. And so I can easily get another job. I say easily, but I haven't got around to getting it yet, so let's just move on to those pros then. Yeah, you can get another job. You can do lots of stuff. I have a lot of free time, so I can do adventuring whenever I want. I know there's a lot of things to do here, even though I don't live in a big city like Seoul or Busan. I have a lot to do, and it's super fun. You know, I'm in a new culture and I have plenty of time to adventure around. And part of au pairing is I don't have to teach, I don't know, like what is school, like 6 hours a day, whereas I only work 4 hours a day. I just have a lot of stuff to do. I can go around and see things. I can meet people. I just think it's a really good opportunity. I think this is as a whole, not just au pairing, but au pairing, student, teacher, whatever you're doing. Coming to a new country and a new culture is definitely a big pro. It just opens up your perspective and you just learn so much. I'm learning every day. I love to learn. So, you know, I mean, I might be learning, you know, the language, but I'm learning about the culture. And I think I'm learning more about myself as well, and who I am as a person. If we're getting into my heart, if we're gonna get down there, yeah, I'm learning more about myself. So with the learning, I have a routine for myself. You know, I make sure I work out every day. I study as well, or like revise what I'm doing. And, you know, I'll do a video or something, or work on my music. I just have little daily goals for myself. And so with that, living with a family that's Korean, I get basically a free tutor. Like learning French for years, I struggled with talking and speaking because I lived in Australia, I lived in a town, and there wasn't necessarily a lot of French people there, or if there was, I never knew them, or they wouldn't talk to me, I guess. But yeah, but I'm in Korea and I'm living with a Korean family, so I'm shoved in the face with Korean, and you know that whole thing when you arrive in Korean, there's no subtitles. Okay. Whenever they come home from dropping the kids, like they will soon, I'll be like, yo, I'm having trouble with my verb conjugations. Let's sit it out. Let's walk it out. And they'll help me. I get a free tutor. I ain't gonna pay them nothing. And so yeah, I think it's really good. It's just like a new way to learn. And along with it, I have like textbooks. I use like Talk to Me in Korean. I'll tell you guys what I'll use to study as well, because I use a lot of things. Like with my language class, I have a whole other textbook, which is really good. But I talk to them, and a lot of the things in the textbooks might not necessarily be natural. And so, you know, I'll pick up slang from them as well, and they'll show me more natural ways to say it. Or, you know, hey, you sound really weird in Korean when you say that, or practice your accent. They just help me with everything like that, and I think that's a really good pro, because as a teacher, I know my friends, they live on their own, and they're like, wow, you must learn so much. And I'm like, I try, I just can't remember it. But, you know, I have a better opportunity to do it than, say, a teacher. So I think that's definitely a good pro for being an au pair. For me, I find this a really good pro. I love cooking. I did like cooking at school, so I could be like, yeah, I got a certificate, I'm special. And so every night is Korean food, of course, because it's a Korean family. And again, I'm comparing it to teachers just because I know from stories and what my friends tell me, but they live on their own. They don't have a Korean being like, this is a Korean meal here. So they only eat Korean when they go out, you know, if they want to get it. So I always have Korean food. And so I'm learning all these like exclusive things and be like, this is a popular meal to have at home. Or, you know, they have a garden and we had like samgyeopsal. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Oh my God. So when we had the public holiday where all the family came, they've come like once or twice, but it's the grandparents who actually make like all the side dishes for us, just because that's just like the grandmother will like to make meals for the family, and then as you know, these parents get older, they'll do it for the kids, I guess. Like that's what they were explaining to me. But she bring like all like the kimchi or like the pickles. Oh, it was so good. And she even was like, oh, you know, I've made this for you. And I was like, you made this for me? The weight of my heart is food. Like, if you want me, just be like, hey, here's a coffee so you're alive. And then here is like just any food. Just give me any food and I'm yours, okay? Yeah, but she brought me kim and she was like, I heard foreigners love it. I was like, well, I do. I can't speak for everyone, but I was like, oh, dang it. And yeah, it was probably like my foreigner moment. Yeah, I love kim. But yeah, it's good. You learn exclusive things. So I'm learning about how to cook Korean food. I don't necessarily cook. It's not part of my thing as an au pair, but I always say, hey, what you cooking? Or can you show me? Or like we made, what did we make? We made kimbap together and that was fun. And so I'm learning all these different things that you wouldn't necessarily learn otherwise. Like, you know, you can go to school and learn the language, and then you can, you know, go outside and learn your proper mannerisms of like greetings and all that, and, you know, your respect to elders or the way you talk to youngers, you know, the formal and non-formal. But I guess, you know, you don't go to a cooking class. Like, I don't think, well, I mean, I would, but it's not like you go out of your way and go to a specific Korean cooking class, whereas I'm in a home and I'm like, it's a cooking class every night, yo, okay? It's real good. So yeah, basically those are my own pros and cons that I've discovered, or, you know, I think other people could experience, but I've experienced them all basically. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I hope you guys, if you are interested in au pairing, hope this like opened it up so you can think more about it and just really get into like, know what you want, know what you don't want, and your expectations. Be sure to check out my other video if you don't. I'm sure I'll do more information on au pairing, as it is quite different to teaching. I mean, it's a whole nother world, whole nother experience. Maybe I'll do teaching one day so I can do both. This is Molly just chilling, doing random videos, a little cringe, but it's all about document my youth. I don't know who's watching this, but thank you, Mom. Hey, I'm well. As you can see, I've got a sore throat, but I'm going good. But yeah, this is just documenting my youth, but I thought I should be like, yo, if people are actually watching this, this is what I'm doing. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Up next, maybe I'll do a music one. I don't know what you guys want to see. I think I'm going to dye my hair. I don't know if you guys are... I'm just doing a lot of random stuff to entertain myself. Like I said, I've got a lot of free time. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Maybe let me know what you want to see next, or what you want to know, or my opinion of. Yeah. Ooh. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, or maybe Facebook or Twitter. I'm not really good at technology. I think I said that before. I'm like an Anjma with it, okay? I'm like an old lady, but we're working it out. Be sure I use Instagram most, and I use really cute photos. So, how do I end this? I'm just gonna record myself for life. Like, I'm gonna be here. You know that, what's that meme? And it's like this person and then they turn into a skeleton. That's me. You're just gonna see a time lapse of me slowly aging and withering away because I don't know how to end this. I'm just gonna end it. Bye! For living here. I forgot the vacuum was on! Story time's over! Get out of here.